At the beginning of the new year, the trees in some private gardens in the Czech Republic have bloomed, the temperature in some cities in France and Spain has climbed to 25 degrees centigrade, and the bustling European ski resorts in previous years are now empty due to lack of snow. Since the large-scale outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Europe has been under the shadow of an energy crisis. However, now Europe is experiencing a historic warm winter. At least 7 countries have set record temperatures on New Year's Day. Many meteorologists call this warm winter incomprehensible. The weather forecasting company believes that warm weather in Europe, especially Western Europe, is expected to continue until the end of January. This is not a good thing for global climate change, but it is a surprise for European countries that have been worrying about how to survive this winter. Reuters pointed out that the relatively warm weather unexpectedly eased the energy crisis in Europe in the short term. As of January 1, the natural gas storage capacity in Europe was still as high as 83.5%, which was at a comfortable level compared with previous years. The European natural gas benchmark price also hit the lowest level since the end of January 2022 on the 4th. British meteorologist Scott Duncan said on Twitter that the warm winter weather in Europe is incomprehensible. Could it be that God is helping Europe survive this cold winter? Or is this extreme weather incubating a crisis across Europe and even all human? Okay, that and more is exactly what we are going to talk about today. Let's take a look. According to a Reuters report on January 4, around the new year, from Switzerland to Poland and Hungary, hundreds of weather stations in Europe set record winter temperatures. At least 7 countries including Lithuania, Latvia, the Czech Republic, the Netherlands, Poland, Denmark, and Belarus had the highest temperatures on New Year's Day in January. The night of December 30th to 31st in France was the warmest night ever recorded on this date. The temperature in Dax, a tourist city in the southwestern part of the country, once climbed to 25 degrees centigrade on New Year's Day. The temperature at Bilbao Airport in the Basque Country of Spain was as high as 25.1 degrees centigrade that day. A local resident said that it rains a lot in January of previous years and is usually very cold, but now it feels like summer. According to a report on the US Bloomberg website on the 5th, a record winter heat wave has forced snowless alpine ski resorts to close their ski runs. Even though it's January, a desolate man-made piste flanked by verdant pastures connects the Swiss village of Gstaad at an altitude of 1,050 meters to the upper reaches of the ski resort. The French resort of Les Contamines has just cancelled this weekend's World Cup ski race in Telemark due to a lack of snow. Plus, just weeks into winter, some low-elevation, low-budget ski destinations are closing their doors. The German Meteorological Observatory released a December climate report on December 30th, which pointed out that Germany experienced a cold and then warm process in December. After December 19th, especially around New Year's Day, all parts of the country ushered in very warm weather. In the Rhine region, the sun was shining during the day and the temperature reached above 20 degrees centigrade. Many people wore short sleeves and drank champagne to celebrate the new year. According to reports, the highest temperature on New Year's Day in many areas, including the German capital Berlin, reached 16 degrees centigrade, setting a record for the highest temperature in January. The Czech capital Prague, which has a history of temperature monitoring for 247 years, reached 17.7 degrees centigrade on New Year's Day, setting a record high in January. The weather forecast of the German Meteorological Office on January 6 shows that the national temperature will still remain at around 10 degrees, while the historical average temperature in January is around 0 degree. The weather information of the French Meteorological Agency on January 5 shows that the temperature across the country will remain at 10 to 15 degrees. Among them, the temperature in Paris reaches 12 to 15 degrees, while its historical average temperature in January is around 5 degrees. Many meteorologists who track changes in the global weather called Europe's mild winter historic. Meteorologist Maximiliano Herrera called it the most extreme event in the history of European climate. French meteorologist Guillaume Sechet said on Twitter that this round of warm winter is unbelievable. British meteorologist economist Scott Duncan also tweeted that the intensity and extent of the warm weather in Europe right now is incomprehensible. It is worth noting that this round of warm weather in Europe has unexpectedly alleviated the energy shortage problem that had been worried about earlier, which made European governments relieved in the short term. Since July 2022, Birol, director of the International Energy Agency, has repeatedly issued a warning to EU countries that if Russia's natural gas supply is completely interrupted, even if they work hard to obtain energy from different sources, they may not be able to survive this winter. In late September, Birol warned that governments were concerned that this winter would be tough for Europe and that next winter would be even tougher. However, as of January 1st, the proportion of natural gas reserves in EU storage facilities was still as high as 83.5%, which was higher than the average level of previous years and was at a comfortable level. According to the Associated Press, the gas storage volume in Europe in December was 13% higher than the average level from 2016 to 2018, mainly due to the warmer winter temperatures in Europe than in previous years. Demand for heating fell in many countries in Europe due to mild weather, and natural gas prices fell accordingly. On January 4, local time, the European natural gas benchmark price TTF natural gas futures closed at €65.022, the lowest level since January 19, 2022. While warmer weather will provide more opportunities for European government treasuries in the first half of the year, no one believes that the energy crisis is over. Supply cuts in Russia remain an issue, and it is difficult to find alternative sellers able to fill such a large supply gap. According to a report by Dutch group ING, compared with the same period last year, the daily flow of natural gas from Russia to the EU has dropped by about 80%, while the remaining pipeline gas is at risk of being completely stopped. That's why governments are still urging citizens to keep saving energy. Additionally, weather conditions change rapidly. Olivia Birch, meteorologist at the weather company, said the cold snap in the coming days could bring temperatures 3 to 5 degrees Celsius below average in Finland, northern Sweden and Norway, Belarus and the Baltic states. In addition, Met Office meteorologist Nicola Maxey said that the UK may also see some cooler periods, which may increase heating and electricity demand in affected areas. In the longer term, weather anomalies have also raised concerns about climate change. The energy crisis has forced some governments to change their carbon policy. Germany is increasing its reliance on coal, and global consumption of the polluting fuel is on the rise. Mark McCarthy, head of the Met Office's National Climate Information Center, said, "While this does not mean that heat records will be broken one after another, climate change concerns will continue to increase the likelihood of warmer temperatures every year for decades to come." Okay, that's all for today. Please put your comments below, and share your insightful ideas with other people. Your precious time with us is highly appreciated. See you.